Okay. It's it's time for a couple of stories. You'll like this because you can't make this crap up. Anyway, I was getting my face sunburned, and I spent Saturday and Sunday shooting for 16 hours. And on Sunday, a guy came up behind me, and he was wearing the most unusual hat. And he had a little Sony a6000 on him. And I had my Nikon D750 with a Tamron 70-200. With the lens hood makes it look a lot larger than it really is, but I mean, of course, the lens really is rather large with or without the lens hood. And he said, rather snarkily, not jokingly, he said, "Do you really need that big lens here?" So I thought, well, you know, there's nothing to... He was a really big guy, too. I mean, he was a lot taller than me. I blurred out his eyes here a little bit. I got several shots of him, and I think he wondered why I was taking shots of him after we talked. And I said, yeah, I do. I said, 7200 really is not that long, and especially when I got done shooting a bunch of people on the stage, you know, I needed that kind of reach, and 200 millimeters is really nothing, and I need a fast lens, even though it's a broad daylight out. And he goes, oh. And I said, he said, well, he said, why do you? He said, you really didn't explain yourself. He said, why do you need a lens that big? And I said, well, let's take this for example. I pointed over to here, which is where there's a skate park. They've got a bunch of curves and half pipes, and there are a lot of skaters skating. I said, well, let's take this for example. I said, that A6000 you have in your hand there. By the way, don't forget his little hat. Here's another picture I took of him. I said, you know, the skate park over here? He goes, yeah, what about it? And I said, well, for example, I was over there for the past hour, and there was a lot of skaters there, and I was taking some skateboarders and also some bicyclists, and I was taking pictures of them at, you know, continuous high, and I said, mirrorless cannot take action shots like this, and he goes, I don't know if he actually knew that, or if he was actually making a statement of acknowledgement. But then the funny thing happened. I noticed that he had a certain look. You know, he's kind of bald and chunky, which of course I am too. But I don't have a ring of nasty hair around my mouth. I said, you know, I said, well, that. He didn't understand what I was saying. I said, you know, with that hat you've got on there, I said, you look exactly like J-Boy. Of course, I didn't say J-Boy. You know exactly who I'm talking about, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, I love his channel. I said, that's the same hat he wears. And he goes, yeah. I see what I wrote down here. Maybe something a little too snarky. Yeah, there we go. Did I get it fully in the camera? Here, let me line it up there. And then I made sure to mention that when you actually wear the retro hat, it causes you to. Let me zoom in. I think there was a feather on the other side of it. It's a fanboy cult. So when you get this camera, you know, you gotta have that like scruffy face look, and then you gotta put on like this retro hat, and then you're like retro cool, man. It's kind of like steampunk, except for photography. You know, but you're using a little bitty camera that is you know, kind of as worthless as tits on a bull, but if you dress the right way and you put on the magic hat, you know, then people will take you as like, man, that dude is into art. That is art, man, because I know he's into art because he's got that camera, and then he's got that hat, man, and like, he don't care what other people think about him, and he like keep a scruffy face, and he's got a look. So you gotta have the camera, and then you gotta wear the D-bag hat. Oh my god! You can't make this crap up! Anyway, I thought you would like that one because I found that so amusing. I nearly, I enjoyed it immensely. It made my day on Sunday. I meant to make this video yesterday, but I'm still suffering heavily from sunburns. And stupidly, I wore some new boots that I had not worn before, and I stuck some bad blisters on my feet too after 16 hours of use. Anyway, thanks. I thought you would like that story because it's true. It's very funny.